everybody, and welcome back. It is good to talk to all of you again today. And today's video, I am going to talk about how I'm going to play battles. Like, what goes into my decision making, what factors do I consider, how do I end up making the choices I make, etc., etc., etc. You can partially say that this video has been inspired by my last week where I've been teaching maybe a little bit too much. Had 3 consecutive 17, 18-hour days, and then I have a 12-hour day on Friday. So I was like totally out of it by Friday night. But it is Saturday again, so Saturday, finally have a free day. Gonna get some content out. Gonna try getting some content out tomorrow on Sunday as well. And who knows, maybe do some streaming or stuff with the like work in progress stuff. So gonna make some like small changes to how I make content, what kinds of content I make, so that it can kind of fit into, I guess, what kind of time constraints I'm under these days. So, and by the way, next week looks like it's gonna be the same sort of like 17-hour day, Monday to Friday almost. So, anyhow, all right. Let's talk about this battle. This was the very first battle I played in an Alsace, and I was a stock Alsace, no upgrades, and into battle I go. So what's the first thing I would do? Go into battle. The very first thing I do is I want to look at the enemy team, right? So the first thing you do in any battle is go into the team lists, look at the enemy team, look at the ships on the enemy team. Are any of those ships going to be a major threat to you? Are there any ships that you have to be aware of? Is there any sort of consumables that you have to be aware of? Now again, remember, different kind of ships, different kinds of priorities. As a battleship, your primary concern will be, for example, what DDs do they have? How many destroyers do they have? What kind of battleships do they have? What kind of armor do they have? All these things, as well as cruisers. Is there cruisers that are safe when they're bow in? Are there cruisers that I can overmatch, etc.? These are all factors you must consider. So looking at this enemy team, the first thing I look at is battleships. There's 5 of them in total. 2 Missouris, a Monarch, a Bismarck, a Key. But you'll notice that there's no Musashi, no Yamato. So one of the first major things I got to worry about is there a 460mm armed battleship that can just overmatch me and do lots of damage? Answer, no, don't have to worry about it. That means against these enemy battleships, as long as I angle correctly, I should have a reasonable amount of protection against them. However, remember, I'm an Alsace, right? I cannot overmatch them, so there's definitely going to be times where I've got to prepare the HE. Enemy cruisers. Buffalo, Kronstadt, 2 Baltimores, and a York. Okay, York, Baltimore. Baltimore is probably the only one whose armor is going to pose a bit of a problem if they're bow in, but the other ones are generally okay to deal with, right? Kronstadt, for example, yes, it's a bulky cruiser, but 25mm plating bow, stern, deck. So as long as you land shells there, you're going to do good damage. Enemy team only has 2 destroyers. So that means that the sort of 5 destroyer teams, those are kind of threatening in terms of being able to hold back rushes. With 2, it's going to be easier to deal with. And also with 2, if you can kill one quickly or kill one early or do heavy damage to one, you increase your chances of winning quite dramatically, because the enemy team is going to basically have a major sort of cap contest vision providing ship gone. So that's the first thing you want to look at, and the things you got to pay attention to, right? I'm not a destroyer, so I'm not too concerned about radar, hydro, things like that, although you still should be aware of which ships have what. Next thing, which cap do you want to go to? Which direction do you want to go? For me, on this particular map, which is the Sleeping Giant map, I think I got the name right. Brain's kind of not fully there yet in terms of just being able to, come up with names. I'm always really bad with names. And so here, I'm going to choose to go to D. And I'm going to go to D because I'm not a huge fan of going to A. I always find A to be just rather bad for battleships, because you don't really always have very clear lines of fire to things. And I just don't like it. It's not really my kind of cap. Other ships I would take there, but just not a battleship. And especially not a French battleship, which is more of a flanking type battleship, because you think you have the good speed, you have the speed boost, all that. You're meant to be on flanks. You're not meant to be sort of bow on to stuff and try to deal with things bow on, right? So, with me, I'm going to go to D, and I'm going to take sort of the outside way around D. Maybe aggressively, quite aggressively, down the 8, maybe 9 lines, depending on where the enemy team ships are. So, battle back to normal speed. Because now that I'm heading this direction, the first thing you really got to do is see what the enemy team is doing. Sometimes it's good to slow down, look at the situation, see what's going on. Is the enemy team sending a certain ships here, other ships there? Where is their destroyers? See, all good things you want to kind of find out. No need to immediately go put yourself into a really bad position that you can't really back out from. So for us, our team is, at least the majority of our team, seems to be heading towards this D cap, which means that we're going to be a bit short-handed over at the A cap. So you have to keep a close attention, I guess pay some attention, to what's going on at the A cap. If they push through too quickly, what are you going to do then? Sorry if I missed it. See, I cannot talk. I'm like, my mouth muscles are just like totally like this weekend. I talked way too much in the last couple of days, and I don't think I've recovered. Yeah, almost I can say I know English now. But okay. Anyways, so I'm heading in this direction. Bismarck, as you can tell, very nicely angled. There's also going to be the Missouri, who is going to be very nicely angled. So against these two battleships, you're really not going to do much. If you're going to aim for anything specific, aim for superstructure. Fletcher appears. Now, I took a bit of a shot there, hoping I'll land like maybe 1 or 2 over pens or something like that, do a couple thousand damage. This Fletcher, however, gets kind of lucky. My salvo just ends up, I don't even know where. They're all around it. Don't get a single hit. Fletcher, though, however, has been hit hard by my team. Gets finished off by the Yugumo there. Very good play by the Yugumo there to be kind of patient and just finish him off there. Alright, Baltimore appears. Now I take a shot, and I see the Baltimore is desperately trying to turn away. So I land a decent salvo worth about 10,000 damage. So that's not too bad. Could have been better, right? Alsace does have only, I think, 1.7 Sigma. So Sigma is not as forgiving sometimes on the Alsace, and you will have the occasional sort of wild-ish salvo. But generally I do find Alsace to be quite good with the number of guns, and also the turret placement is quite nice. You've got 8 guns in the front and 2 quad turrets. That's good, because if you run to a bow on target and you have to go bow on, you can go to HE and spit out more HE shells. So that's one thing that she does have going for her. But most of the time with Alsace, you do want to play that flanker. You do want to get onto the sides. You want to use your speed to get there. I am a stock ship in this one, so remember, I'm not as fast as I could be, right? Alright, Bismarck decides to go kind of bow in, gets kind of whittled down by the combination of HE fire from the Mahan and the Atlanta. Mostly the Atlanta, though. You can see the Atlanta's in a great position. Got good island cover and just slinging shots over. Enemy Missouri sees the Bismarck go down, sees the Fletcher go down, realizes that it's just him and the Baltimore. He's like, I want to get out of here. But you'll see right here, I'm a little bit patient with the salvo. I'm not firing it right away because I want to see what this Missouri is going to do. And it looks like he's going to start accelerating, probably going to turn away. So the minute I realize, okay, he's going to accelerate and then turn away, lead the target, open fire. And then he's going to turn right into these shells. Just you watch. Here we go. Look at that salvo, and there you go. 21,900 damage. Sometimes be patient. Just look at the enemy player. What do you think they're going to do? What is the logical thing they're going to do? And then make a shot based on that. There is no need sometimes to rush your salvos. Sometimes you can take a snapshot, but sometimes no need to rush. This Baltimore, in the position that the Baltimore was in at the beginning, I didn't shoot. Why? Because at that angle, Baltimore can auto-bounce some stuff. But Baltimore makes a mistake and turns. Turns in. So as soon as I see that little act of turning in, there goes the salvo. Why? Because I know it is going to take that Baltimore some more time to get that rudder shifted back to the other side in order to get the ship to turn the other way. So, patience. A little bit of patience. I probably could have shot him when he was angled and maybe got some, like, I don't know, a penetration or something through the stern. Maybe get lucky and get some more penetrations on the side, but not likely. Because he was pretty extreme. The angle was actually quite extreme. If you actually look at the mini-map and you're like, yeah, the angle's quite good. Okay, another enemy Missouri, also broadside. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I do take the shot. I wasn't 100% sure because I was really close to that cliff, and I was like, maybe I'm gonna have shells that don't pass that area. But yeah, enemy Missouri turned away, so the angle kind of increases, effective armor increases, and Alsace at longer range doesn't have the world's best penetration. So Missouri kind of gets away with that. Had I been playing, let's say, in Iowa, that shot probably would have done better. Okay, Buffalo. Take a shot at the Buffalo. This was more of a snapshot. As you can tell, I was a little bit rushed because I'm watching the Buffalo getting into that nicer-ish position for me to take a shot. Take it. A little bit rushed. Don't get the best hit. About 5,000 somewhat damage. Enemy York. That's one kind of annoying ship right now because he's going to kind of sling HE at me because... yeah. And since I don't have the best shot on the Buffalo, I'm like, that's it. I'm turning my attention onto this York. I'm going to try to see if I can get him. See the York turning. See the York turning. Okay, predict a turn. Fire my guns. And hoping that the salvo lands right. And no Citadel, but 9,000 damage. Against a tier 7 cruiser, 9,000 damage is quite painful because it's damage that cannot be recovered. So this York is... yeah, I think this York is pretty much gone. I'm just waiting for a reload. Alsace does have... I would say... I mean, the French battleships in general, the way I've played it, I don't know. I enjoy their guns. I think they're quite useful. Sorry, useful. Jesus. What is wrong with me? They're quite usable. And especially with the Alsace, the amount of them can be effective against cruisers. And they reload nice and fast, too. So sometimes you have less opportunity for the enemy ship to escape or turn away. I like them. I like the guns. Okay. Enemy Missouri. This one is bow on. But this Missouri is isolated. Enemy team has managed to actually push all the way up to our original B cap and have taken it. But it's okay. We're playing domination. We're not playing standard battles. And as long as you're not playing a standard battle, if the enemy goes for your original cap, it doesn't really matter as long as you can take theirs. So I start off with, I think I believe that last one was AP, but I switch over to HE because I know I'm going to need some HE to deal with this bow-on ship. Luckily, like I said, French battleships do have that nice little reload going, so you can get your next salvo out reasonably quickly. Taking a little bit more risk here by showing a bit more of a side, trying to get the rear gun out, but I'm seeing that the enemy battleship here, turret is turned somewhere else, and I'm pretty sure that Missouri was far more concerned with our cruiser than me, so allowing me to get in some pretty nice shots. Alright, so here I guess take a quick little slow down. I'm going to just slow this down a little bit because we want to take a look at the position of where everybody is. So there is the Alsace in my division who's sort of back covering our B cap, sort of delaying the enemy from being able to push down into our D cap. We have a Yugumo up there who's doing something similar. There is a Buffalo on their team who is probably going to try to go down the channel there into the D cap. They've managed to take out B cap already, and on this side we are in the process of taking their original cap. Right? I think this is the C cap if I remember correctly. Down here I've got a Kronstadt with me, I've got an Atlanta, I've got a Mahan, I've got a Magi behind me. So we have some pretty strong forces in this area of the map. They have some pretty strong forces to the north, but if you look at the ship compositions they have, I'm a little bit more confident with what we've got down here. Okay, so let me continue. And still searching for salvo against that Buffalo. Oh, it's a close one. Buffalo is actually pretty slow because initially the Buffalo was actually kind of stationary near the island, but can't get that shot, right? Can't bend it. Shells travel in straight lines and not footballs. Alright, take a shot at the Monarch. Alright, in front of me there is a Missouri who has now gone almost full broadside. I'm not spotted, but I'm not going to go show myself right now because I am responsible also for a chunk of the cap points. So I'm going to use this island, don't get spotted, wait until I get the cap done first. So now we're back to even numbers of caps, and then go out and engage a Missouri. Now, a fight against a Missouri in an Alsace, you basically do sort of one thing. You stay angled, bow in if you have to, and you sling HE. If the Missouri gives you enough side to shoot at, then go for the AP salvo. But otherwise, just use HE, sling some HE, set some fires, burn down the battleship. Now, if I remember correctly, My RNG wasn't exactly great in this particular thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pressure that Missouri, and I'm going to constantly pressure that Missouri out towards the border, because the further this Missouri is away from our forces here, the less we have to worry about him, right? And of course, if I keep pushing him, if you just kind of look at the relative positions, if I just keep pushing him all the way out to, like, let's say the very edge of the 1 line, I'm going to be probably around, what, the 3 line? That means if I can kill the Missouri, I can then turn up, turn to the north, go into the A cap, and take that for my team. A cap, as you can tell, the enemy ships are not really in that area, and the A cap, once you take it, it's kind of hard to dislodge someone from it, right? So that's what I'm planning to do. Just engage this Missouri first. Missouri was at this time also firing at the Kronstadt on my team, so I was also trying to get the Missouri's attention away from that particular ship. But as you can tell, Missouri doing a pretty good job at staying angled. So definitely applaud the Missouri driver for this, because, okay, I know somebody's going to be like, ah, you said driver, you don't drive ships. I'm sorry. The Missouri captain is doing the right thing. Staying angled, keeping his guns in action. But he does have to kind of keep moving. The mistake, of course, is not realizing that I'm also just pushing him and pushing him and pushing him towards the border. Because once I get him there, he pretty much has no choice besides to try to turn out in some particular kind of manner. And then I can load AP and go for that nice, big, devastating hit. Enemy team. Oh, actually, there we go. Ow, that one actually hurt. Alright. He got a bit more of my side, so he was able to do a little bit of damage there to me. Ow, that actually hurt. Okay. But I'm going to try to get a little bit more angled again. Still slinging some HE. Just want to get that fire. Come on, fires. So uncooperative sometimes. Still not enough. Didn't angle enough in that one. Angling has to be a little bit more extreme sometimes. I think I was just hoping to get my rear gun out, get another HE salvo. But there we go. That one was better. That one bounced. Alright. So as you can tell, I've moved north. I've moved into a position where this Missouri, I think, is in a little bit more vulnerable of a position, and get rid of that HE salvo and switch over to AP. Now, this is where, if I keep going, the Missouri is going to be in trouble. Alright, come on. Let's go, Missouri. Yeah, as you can tell, the Missouri is going to keep going. Definitely going to hit that wall. And at that time, it's really got only 2 choices. Turn north or turn south. Now, if you turn south, it's going to become kind of a bit of a stationary sitting duck, because all the engine power goes away. And that should make him an easy kill. So he's going to turn north. I'm just waiting for him to make that turn. Waiting, patiently waiting. There we go. Salvo out. And yeah, gone. Boom. Alright, with the Missouri dealt with, turn right around. Go into the A cap. We're a little bit down on points, but if I secure the other cap, then we're going to be fine. We've pretty much secured victory, right? Enemy team, if you look at it, only has a Monarch left. And against this much HP Alsace, Monarch, I mean, unless you get really lucky with fires, other than that, I think the Alsace is perfectly fine, capable of dealing with this. I do also believe we actually have 2 Alsaces. We still have another one too, and there goes the other one. Now, other Alsace, as you can tell, is a little bit less healthy, but still okay. Falls off detect, heals back a little bit, should be all right. Me still trying to make my way onto this particular A cap to take it. Enemy team, 3 ships left. No more destroyers. No need to worry about torpedoes. Just got to worry about surface ships. Monarch, could have shot him earlier. He was broadside, but remember, stock ship didn't have the range. So had to try to get the range a little bit closer. But then by this time, Monarch had already moved away and is not in that position from earlier, where pretty much looked like he was broadside enough that I could take a shot at him. Alright, so here's the Baltimore. I can see this Baltimore coming. I'm like, gonna try to sling shells over this little chunk of land. There he is. Take a shot. Shells are okay. That wasn't all that great. I had a couple of block shots there. But our Cleveland put in a pretty good salvo against the Baltimore. Was able to take the Baltimore down, but our Cleveland went down to the Kronstadt. Alright, right here, there's a little gap here. The Kronstadt's over there. I mean, I could take a salvo. I could try to take a salvo if I could see him. But at the same time, maybe taking cap is of higher priority. So, It's what I kind of prioritize doing. Get the cap first. 2, 1. There we go. Cap is secure. Sitting on pretty decent damage on a stock hull with no upgrades. So that's not bad damage at all, to say the least. But I'm going to come out and I'm going to help the rest of my team here engage what's left of their team. We still have a Yugumo. Right now, theoretically speaking, if I die and the other Alsace on my team dies, we should still be okay as long as the Yugumo plays smart, right? As a Yugumo, if you just run sort of 2 different caps that the enemy team isn't at, and you just secure the caps, and then when they secure a different one, you just, kind of keep going to the other ones that they're not at, should be okay. Alright, I come out, there's a pretty healthy Kronstadt, about 30,000 HP, but remember the weakness of the Kronstadt, 25mm plating everywhere, and this Kronstadt knows it too, which you kind of see, this Kronstadt knows. I get the first salvo off, I managed to incapacitate one of the turrets. Alright, that's fine, secondary guns are going. Now, not really want to give this much broadside angle to a Kronstadt, but I also know that his damage is not going to be amazing with only 3 guns, because remember I did incapacitate 1 turret. So turn the other way, knowing that had he kept going, I would have had a salvo ready for his broadside, but I would have been a little bit more angled. And, ooh, hold on a second here. There we go. This last salvo here against the broadside Monarch. And there he goes. Alright, so final results screen for this particular battle. 168,113 damage. 527,449 credits. 12,627 experience. And that was pretty good. It was a pretty good battle overall. Even managed to take a full cap by myself. Sunk 3 ships. In terms of base experience, 2,300 base, which is always good. If I actually remember correctly, in this battle, according to Matchmaking Monitor, there was a pretty big difference in win rates between 2 teams, but still was able to carry it. In terms of damage dealt, 124,000 with AP, 22,000 with HE, and about 18,000 with fire. So the HE is useful. In terms of credits earned, 341,329 with premium, would have been 182,179 without premium. Yeah, without premium, it's rough to play the higher tier ships unless you have like the premium camo or something, or the permanent camo. Anyways, what do you think? Do you like this kind of format? Do you like me sort of explaining things a little bit more than I would normally? Let me know in the comment section below. Aside from all that, folks, have yourselves a really good one. I should have another video for you tomorrow, and then I'll try to get something done during the crazy weekdays that I have. So until next time, take care of yourselves, folks.